Welcome to Mantis Monday, and today we're going to talk about Sibylla pretiosa, this guy, or also known as the Cryptic Mantis. The best place to start this guy here, the Cryptic Mantis, is its name, Sibylla pretiosa. Sibylla means prophetess. Pretiosa means rich or precious.
Precious!
The size of this guy, as a male, is around about 6 centimeters. The females are a little bigger, at around 7 and a little bit, not too much more than that. And they're extremely plump towards the slim, good-looking male here. And the best way to check to see if it's a male when you get to adult like this is really, really easy. Not only is the male slimmer, but his wings go past his abdomen, as you can see here. And the females stop right at the end. And that's a really, really easy way to see. It's almost impossible unless you've got perfect eyesight to see whether they are male or female as they're really young nymphs, because counting the segments is so difficult, it's just a waste of time. You can tell later on, the way they grow, that the female will get a lot wider than the male and plumper, just like every animal.
Hello, fatties!
The life expectancy of Sibylla pretiosa is around about 9 months in captivity, and probably a year and a little bit in the wild. Why is this? Who knows? The fun thing about this mantis is it's not like other mantis. It's when you put your hand in front of a normal mantis, I'm saying normal mantis like it's a weird thing, you put your hand in front of any other mantis to generally do the old pawing thing and try and get up there, as you can see right here. But with this guy, he will dodge you. He will try and get away from you. They are very, very skittish little mantis. If you're paranoid about the mantis and you're paranoid about hurting it and you're paranoid about them jumping, this is not the mantis for you. They are extremely skittish. I've got one right over there, or this guy here, that I've had since about his third instart, and I've handled him almost every single day, and I hand feed him every single day from that age, and he's still a bit skittish when it comes to me. Now, one thing he doesn't do, which most of them do, is he doesn't fly. I've never seen his wings come out. And most people that I know who've had Cryptic Mantis always say they're very flighty, and any excuse they've got, they will take flight. So be very aware. If you're worried, if you're paranoid, if you don't like jumpy things, don't get a Cryptic Mantis, because they are very, very skittish, and they do look very fragile. Their legs are extremely thin, their thorax is extremely thin. They're terrifying if you're a bit nervous around them, so don't get one. But on the other hand, if you want to see something that's really cool and you love mantis that hunt rather than wait for the food, like boring ghost mantis, then this is definitely the guy for you. They love it. As soon as they see food, as you see here, they will just go right for it. They absolutely love it. They will hunt down anything. But these guys are better off with flies, moths, and other flying insects. In this video, I'm showing a cricket. I don't normally feed the guys crickets, but this one's having a cricket because if I show you with a fly, A, it might take a million years to show you a video of it, and B, it's pretty boring if I just chucked a moth on the lid and he grabbed it right away. So that's why I'm using a cricket for this example. But he generally just eats wax moths, which I breed myself. If you go on Wikipedia or you go on some sellers' websites and they tell you where this guy comes from, they all mention the word South Africa and nowhere else. Well, I can tell you this for a fact. They don't only come from South Africa. They actually come from where my wife comes from, which is
Angola.
Sorry, do it again?
There you go. And below Angola, you've got Namibia, and they come from there as well. And you find some in the Congo just above Angola. And if you go a little bit to the right towards the centre, you've got Botswana and Zambia, and they also come from there. And you can find them in South Africa, just like it says on the tin. I would suggest, because of where these guys come from, that you give them a spray down once a day. And I don't mean a soaking, I mean a quick spray on the side of the container or enclosure that you've got them in, so they've got something to drink. They do like drinking, and I don't mean beer. Now, as it's quite a small species, it's not too bad to keep them in something like this, of this sort of size, which is 12-inch, 300 milli. And once they're adults, there's plenty of room in there for these guys. Now, I don't know if you're like me or not, if you keep them in their enclosure 24/7 and never take them out to play for a while, then you may want to go a little bigger when they get to adults. But I take mine out quite frequently. They're all my mantis, every single one, get a run out at some point, during the week, and they'll stay out for several hours, and I let them crawl around and do what they want. As you probably know, if you've seen me before, I have mantis roaming around the room anyway, in fact roaming around the house and different house plants. They're just all over the place. When they get to adults, I mostly take them out, but as I've already mentioned, these guys are really skittish, so they need to be in here, otherwise you'd end up squishing them, because they're not going to stay in one place. You spook them and they're going to fly off, or they're going to walk off, they're going to run off, and they're just going to get squished. So I like to keep these, the only ones I really like to keep inside an enclosure. And for the males, this is big enough, a little bit bigger maybe for the females, because they are slightly larger. Now, breeding these guys, I've never done it, but I have seen it done, and I believe that they are not very difficult to breed. They don't appear to be as aggressive as other mantis with each other, and that's probably a good thing. They tend to take down only flying prey and only small prey that they can actually handle. So when you see another mantis, it probably looks a bit too big for them to eat.
True.
As for temperature, well, there's a few conflicting opinions here. There's a lot of people say, oh, it's from Africa, then it must be like 28 degrees there. Well, I got news again. Africa's not always 28 degrees. In fact, some countries don't even make it to 28 degrees. And some countries where this guy comes from, even though he's in the southern hemisphere pretty much. Generally, if you feel comfortable like I am now in a t-shirt, well, that guy feels okay as well. I'm not shivering, he's not shivering. If you put the temperature up too high, he's going to run through his life cycle a lot quicker, because insects use temperature a way to metabolize their food, and it really, really just speeds up their life cycle. If you want to, for instance, get a male up to an adult, because you've already got a female there, you can just turn the temperature up a bit, maybe feed him a little bit more, and he will catch her up eventually. It will molt quicker than what would be expected if he was just in the room like it is now. I think it's 22, 23 in here, which is quite warm enough for me and quite warm enough for them. So just like the rest of the mantis, I mean all of them, I can't think of one that requires more than that. They should be quite happy, and they should be okay with a temperature drop in the evening and over the night time as well. If it drops down to 17, 18, just for them few hours in the middle of the night, a mantis will be fine. As my neck is absolutely killing me, and I'm on some wacky strong painkillers, and I'm actually floating around the room. I'm not on floor here, I'm actually floating about 4 foot above the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it here. I think that was enough. There's a bit of everything there. If you want to know anything else, just bang it in the comments and ask me down there. I'd love it if you'd like to subscribe. Awesome. And this was Mantis Monday. I'm Simon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.